vehicle, and I'm going to check liquids for any leaks. First thing I'm going to look at the overall appearance of the vehicle. There's no lean to either side to give away a bad shock absorber or a low tire pressure on either side. The headlights, they're properly in place, properly secured to the vehicle, properly cleaned, no damage. Running lights at the top, they're all properly secured to the vehicle, cleaned, no damage, no obstructions. I'm going to look up underneath the vehicle. I'm looking for any liquids, any drips, or anything. I don't see any, so there's no leaks. I'm going to walk up. I'm going to check my license plate. My license plate is tightly secured to the vehicle, and it is in date. With a sticker here. I'm going to go over. I'm going to undo the latch here and inspect this while I'm doing this. The rubber is not dry rotted. It's properly secured. There's no damage, no missing parts. Same thing on the other side, but it's already popped. All right, I'm going to open the hood. Keep 3-point contact. First thing I'm going to check, my headlight housing. So I've got a side marker here with electrical cables going into it. There's no copper showing, no damage, no missing parts, and it's properly secured to the vehicle. Same with the headlight housing here. It's properly secured to the vehicle. I'm going to check the copper wires. There's no copper showing, no cuts, abrasions, or anything like that on these electrical cables. Next, my hood bracket. I'm going to check to make sure that it's properly secured to the vehicle. There's no damage, no missing parts. All nuts and bolts are in place, tightly secured. Same down here on the bumper support. All tightly secured, properly in place, no damage. Okay, next, check this side marker right here. It's properly secured to the vehicle. There's no cracks, no missing parts. The electrical connector that's right inside here is properly in place. No copper showing, no cuts anywhere, no obstructions. For the bumper, my bumper is properly secured to the vehicle. All bolts, nuts are in place. No bends, brakes in the bumper, no illegal welds. Everything's tightly secured. Next, right up here is my hood support. It's properly secured to the vehicle. I can't reach it, but it's properly secured to the vehicle. There's no missing parts and there's no visible damage. All right, this is my radiator. Checking my radiator to make sure that there's no leaks. So I don't see any dripping. I'm gonna check all these fins in the front, make sure they're not damaged in any way, and they are not. This right here, this piece right here is my intercooler. Checking it, basically the same thing. There's no bends or damage to the fins. It's properly secured to the vehicle. All bolts are in place, tightly secured. Okay. Now in this part of the test, I'm going to name everything in the engine compartment, and I'm going to use a Z pattern to ensure that I name everything. So first thing, I've got my engine support right here. All right, it's properly secured to the vehicle. There's no damage, no missing parts. Everything seems properly mounted. I'm going to check these hoses here. There's no cuts, bubbles, or abrasions. There's no leaks because this is going to my coolant reservoir. I'm going to check this support here. It's properly secured to the vehicle. No damage, no missing parts. This hose here, this is another radiator hose. There's no leaks, there's no cuts, no abrasions. It's properly secured to the vehicle. I'm going to check it back here as well. My metal strap here is properly secured to this radiator hose, this one, and this one back here. They're all properly secured, no leaks. Now next, I have my coolant reservoir. My cap is tightly secured to the vehicle. Now if this vehicle was cooled down, I could take this off to check the seal and the level of the tank. I have a peep sight here to see that this tank is filled up properly to its operating level. But since this system is hot and under pressure, I'm not going to take this off. But it is properly secured and I don't see any leaks. Same with this. The coolant reservoir is properly secured to the vehicle and there are no leaks here. I don't see any leaks. I'm going to check all of these electrical cables, make sure there's no cuts or abrasions or no copper wire showing, and everything is properly secured and connected to its right place. Next, I've got my windshield washer fluid. My windshield washer fluid, as you can see, is at the full level. It's properly secured to the vehicle. There's no leaks. The cap is tightly secured in place. Now coming down, this is my oil dipstick. At this point, you'll attempt to take it out. Most likely they'll tell you to stop, but in case they don't, go ahead and take it out, check your oil level, make sure that it's in the safe operating range, reinstart it, and you're good to go. But it is properly secured to the vehicle. There's no missing parts or no damage to this. Next, I have an air hose here. This is coming from my intercooler down to my air intake manifold. There's no cuts or abrasions. Everything is tightly secured to the vehicle. Next, I'm just going to look at the overall appearance of the top of the engine. I've got the top of the block here. There's a couple things I'm going to check for. On this, I'm going to be looking for leaks. I don't see any visible leaks. I'm going to check these electrical cables. Make sure all these electrical cables are properly secured to the proper support. There's no copper showing on these wires, no cuts or abrasions. This here, this is my fuel filter. It's properly secured to the vehicle. Do not open this up. It's properly tightened, properly secured to the vehicle, and there are no leaks. Okay? So you have these electrical cables here. You've already checked them up there, but it's best to go ahead and name them again. You've got all these electrical cables. Check and make sure there's no cuts or abrasions, properly secured, and there are no copper showing. Now, I'm gonna come through to right here. Now this right here, this piece that I'm pointing at right here is it's a gear-driven air compressor. I can't check anything on it other than that it's properly secured to the vehicle and there's no audible leaks. I can't hear any air coming out of this. So that's my gear-driven air compressor. I'm gonna check this hose here. There's no cuts or abrasions or bulges. It's properly secured there. This is a metal braided air line. There, I'm sorry, not air line. It's a braided high pressure line. There's no abrasions, no breaks. It's properly secured. I believe that is an air line, by the way. All right, here's the power steering reservoir. So you've got, you can give it a shake. There's the liquid here. It's at the operating full line. For hot or cold, it's full. Cap is tightly secured. Reservoir is tightly secured to a support mount. This is the hose coming from the power steering fluid reservoir. It's tightly secured. There's no leaks coming from here. No leaks coming from this hose. No leaks back here. And the hose is properly secured. No cuts, abrasions, or bulges. This is my steering column. It's properly secured, and you'll have to look up the amount of give either side because I'm not sure that off the top of my head, but it's properly secured to the vehicle. No missing parts, no brakes, no illegal welds. This right here is transmission dipstick. It's tightly secured, no missing parts. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and name off my frame. My frame, there's no illegal bolt holes, there's no illegal welds, there's no breaks or bends in my frame anywhere in this section that I can see. I have this is my power steering gearbox. It's properly secured to the vehicle. The hose properly secured here. No leaks coming from this power steering gearbox, and it's properly secured to the frame. No damages. This here, this is my pivot arm. Pivot arm is properly secured to my power steering gearbox. No missing parts, no damage, no bends. I'm going to follow this all the way down to this right here. This is my castle nut. Some people call it castle nut, crown nut, but you want to check to make sure that your cotter key, which is right here, is greasy so you can't see it. The cotter key is properly in place and one of the flanges properly bent back. So this is attached properly and securely. This is my drag link right here. It's properly secured, properly greased, no damage, no missing parts. While I'm here, I'll go ahead and name my leaf springs and my shackles. My shackles are properly secured to the frame, no missing parts here. All bolts are in place, all nuts are in place. Same as down here. Everything's properly secured here, no damages, no missing parts. My leaf springs, properly secured. There are no breaks, no cracks, no scissoring of the leaf springs. There's no damage to those and they're properly secured. These are my U-bolts. They're properly secured. No damage, no missing parts. This right here is my ABS relay. It's properly secured to the vehicle. There's no audible leaks. There are no copper wires showing. No damages, no missing parts to this. And this is my air line going into my ABS relay. It's properly secured. No leaks, no cuts, bulges or abrasions here. And I'll go ahead and check this electrical cable here. It's properly in place. No copper showing. No damage. This is my shock absorber and my bracket for my shock absorber. It's properly secured to the vehicle. All bolts and nuts are tight. Shock absorber is properly secured and there's no damages, no leaks coming from that. Alright, this right here, I'm going to go ahead and back down here. So I name my drag link here, and I'm going to check this castle nut or crown nut with the cotter key properly secured in place. Make sure that my drag link is greased here and it's properly secured to the upper control arm. This piece that it's connected to is the upper control arm. My upper control arm, take my glasses off. Upper control arm is properly connected and secured here. It's properly greased. This is my air chamber. It's properly secured to the vehicle. There's no leaks. My air hose here is connected, not leaking. No bulges or cuts here. This is my slack adjuster. This is my slack adjuster. It's properly secured to the push rod. Push rod is properly secured in place. And if the brakes were engaged, this would have movement, but should be no more than an inch. This is a cotter key here. It's properly secured to the vehicle. Flanges are pushed out, showing that it's secured in place. From here, I'm just going to check the inner bead of the rim here, where the rim and the tire meet. I'm checking to make sure there's no bends, cracks, or illegal welds anywhere along this lip all the way around the tire. So this is good. This right here is my brake housing. So I've got my brake shoes here, there. Everything is properly secured. There's plenty of space on these brake pads. And my rotors are good. So, or I'm sorry, not rotors. These are not rotors. This is a brake drum that the pads right here are against. So here, I'm going to check the inside wall of the tire. I'm looking for any abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Everything is good on this inner side wall of this tire. There's nothing that looks out of the ordinary. I'm going to move to the top. While I'm inspecting this, I'm going to look at this tire from above, straight down. I'm going to pay close attention to the treads here and here, making sure that this tire has good even tread wear. So it appears that it does have good even tread wear. The tread wear depth is no fewer than 4/32 of an inch. It's more than that, of course. Checking the overall appearance at the top of the tire here, making sure there's no nails, screws, cuts, abrasions, anything that's going to alter the performance of this tire. I'm going to come down here, same thing that I named on this side, I'm going to name on this side of the tire. I'm looking for abrasions, bulges, cuts. I don't see any, so this sidewall here is good. I'm going to come down here, same as on the inside. I'm going to check this bead of the tire and the rim. I'm checking to make sure there's no bends, cracks, or illegal welds anywhere around this tire. And there are none. Second, after this, I'm going to check my lug nuts. Make sure all my lug nuts tightly secured to the vehicle. I'm going to pay close attention. Make sure there's no shiny metal showing or any rust streaks coming from any of these lug nuts here. Because if you had metal showing or rust streaks, it would indicate a loose lug nut. Here, this is my hub oil seal. This hub oil seal is plugged here. I cannot check the level that's in here, but I can tell you that it's not leaking. There's no leaks anywhere. It's properly secured. Everything's good here. All right, so I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to look at my windshield. I'm going to take note. My windshield is properly cleaned. There's no obstructions to the vision. There's no cracks anywhere in this windshield. I'm going to go ahead and check my windshield wiper right here. There's no signs of dry rot, no broken pieces, no missing pieces of the windshield wiper. It's tightly secured to the vehicle here. All right. Now earlier, when we popped the hood, we already named this, but just to reiterate, it's properly secured to the vehicle. No missing parts, no dry rot on the rubber here. First thing I'm going to look at when coming to this side of the truck, I'm going to look at my inspection label. I'm going to note that my inspection label is marked for the correct month and year. It's properly secured and in the right spot. Next, got my mirror brackets here. My mirror brackets are tightly secured to the vehicle. There's no missing parts. There's no damage. Everything is good here. You go ahead and check this side. Oh, shit.
We can edit that out.
All right. All right. Checking my mirror. Checking this mirror right here. This is my convex mirror. It's properly secured. There's no cracks. It's clean. There's no stickers or any obstructions to the view. Same with this one up here. Properly secured to the vehicle. No cracks, and it's clean. I'm gonna come down here. Got my vehicle number stickers. They're properly in place, identifying this vehicle. I have a side marker here. Side marker is properly secured to the vehicle. There's no cracks. There's no missing parts. Properly secured there. And then inside here, We look right up underneath here. I've got electrical cables that I'm going to check. Make sure there's no copper showing or any missing parts there. No cuts or abrasions. Real quick, I'm going to check my mud flap here. Mud flap is properly secured to the vehicle. It's not ripped or missing. There's no missing parts or damage there. Here, this is my DOT number for this truck. It's properly secured, identifying this truck as well. Got my company logo here. It's properly secured, properly in place. No missing letters, nothing. I've got a driver door window. There's no cracks. It's clean, and there's no illegal stickers or obstructions to the view. I'm gonna go ahead and check my door handle. My door handle is functioning properly. I've got all of my information here that's supposed to be with the truck. Got my VIN number here. It's properly in place and it's visible. My door mechanism is working properly. There's no missing parts. There's no damage. I'm gonna go ahead and check my windows. Everything is rolling up the way it should. No damage or missing parts. Up here, I'm gonna check this handle right here, my support handle. It's properly secured to the vehicle. No damage, no missing parts. From here, I'm gonna check my steps. My steps are properly secured. Here, here. I'll take these straps off, making sure to note that there's no damage or missing parts. There's no dry rot on these straps. Under here, I've got my 3 batteries. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give it a light little tug on each one of these connectors, making sure everything is tightly secured to the battery, all the terminals. Everything is good here, and these are maintenance-free batteries, so I can't pop the top and see the water level, but they are maintenance-free. Under here, I've got 3 air tanks, 1, 2, and 3. They are properly secured to the vehicle. There's no damage. There's no leaks. I don't hear any leaks coming from them. I'll go ahead and turn them. No water in that one. No water in that one. No water in that one. I'm gonna make sure that my straps are tightly secured back to these steps. Right here. Now, come on the back side of this truck. So the first thing I'm gonna look at is this DOT tape here. My DOT tape is properly in place, and there's no damage. Everything is there. Across the top, I've got a support handle for my hose and electrical wire hanger here. Properly secured. No damage, no missing parts. Got this handle here. It's properly secured to the vehicle. No damage, no missing parts there. This here. This is my inspection sticker. It's properly dated for 2018. This right here is an air dryer for my air tanks to make sure there's no water getting past here into my brake lines. It's properly secured to the vehicle. All hoses are connected properly and secured. There's no audible leaks coming from this. Here, I have my connector for my service and emergency lines. There's no leaks. They're tightly secured to the vehicle. This is my electrical pigtail right here and here, both of which are properly secured to the vehicle, properly in place. There's no copper showing anywhere on these. No cuts, no abrasions. Same with this one here. No cuts, no abrasions, no copper showing. Both properly secured where they need to be. I'll go ahead and check my glad hands. So this glide hand here, I'm gonna pop it open. I'm gonna make sure that this rubber gasket right here is not dry rotted or damaged in any kind of way. There's no dirt, there's no obstructions here. It's properly secured. There's no audible leaks coming from here, and this is properly secured to the glide hand. Now, just gonna put this back on. There. And I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. Checking this gasket here. One thing I did forget to mention, this gasket here is properly secured. There's no damage, there's no obstructions. I'm gonna check this air hose here. It's properly secured and there's no audible leaks. Alright, same with this one. I've already checked this gasket here. Now I'm checking this one. Make sure everything's properly secured. There's no damage, no obstructions. And I'm gonna go ahead and check this air hose here while I'm there. Make sure there's no audible leaks. I'm gonna put this back. I'm gonna go ahead and check all these wires while I'm here. Everything's properly secured, no copper showing. This here, this is my trailer registration card right here. This is properly secured to the vehicle. My registration paper is inside. I've also got my trailer inspection label. It's properly secured and marked for the correct date and month. I've got my manufacturer label here for my gross weight, all that, tire pressure here, and inspection date here. So one thing that we didn't mention over here, you've got your glide hand supports here, properly secured to the vehicle, so no damage. And the same with your electrical pigtail support right here. It's not damaged and properly secured to the vehicle. Next thing I'm gonna name is my frame. My frame, there's no damage, no illegal bolt holes, no illegal welds, there's no cracks or bends anywhere. There's no damage assessed here. But right here, this right here should be steps. There's no steps here, but it's noted on my pre-trip inspection. I'm gonna check my catwalk. My catwalk is properly in place, properly secured. It's tight. All bolts are in place. All rivets are in place here and over there. Now, under here, I've got this little line right here. It's for my saddle release to have my saddle move forward and back. It's properly secured here. There's no audible leaks. Don't hear anything. I'm going to take a visual assessment of my fifth wheel plate, my saddle, and I'm going to note that there is no spacing in between the bottom of this trailer and the top of that fifth wheel plate. Obviously, you can see all the grease that's on it. It's properly greased. Kingpin handle right into here. Can you see it? Mm-hmm. The kingpin handle is pushed all the way in, showing that it's properly engaged and locked in place. I'm gonna go ahead and name my mud flaps here, properly secured to the vehicle, and not broken, and there's no missing parts. Alright. While I'm here, I've got my DOT reflector tape right here. Our reflective DOT tape is properly in place, no missing pieces. It's not damaged in any kind of way. Now, on these back tires, a little bit different from the front. You're going to check basically the same thing on these back tires you did on the front, but just going to do it twice. So the inside of the tire, I'm checking for bulges, abrasions, or cuts. Checking my tread wear depth. My tread wear depth on the rear tires and the trailer tires of this truck cannot be no less than 2/32 of an inch, which we are way past that. I'm also looking to make sure there's no nails or screws anywhere on these tires, I'm gonna look in between these tires, right here. I'm gonna make sure that these tires are not touching anywhere, showing low tire pressure. The tires are not rubbing at the bottom. There's no abrasions on the inside of this tire here, or on the inside of this one here. I'm gonna look right here at my rim, make sure my rim are butted up properly. There's no spacing in between. And down at the bottom here, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna name my valve stem cap. My valve stem cap and valve stem are properly secured and in the right spot. Valve stem is in place. I did not name it on the front tire, but you have to name that on the front tire. The valve stem cap. Outside wall of this tire, looking for abrasions, bulges, or cuts. I see none. I'm gonna check the inner bead right here. Same on this bead here, the one behind it, the next tire, inside and outside. I'm gonna check for bends, illegal welds, or anything of that nature on the bead of this tire and rim. All the way around there is none. And you're gonna do that here on the inside of both of these and the other rim over there. So here, got my valve stem. My valve stem cap is properly secured in place. I'm gonna go ahead and check on my lug nuts. All my lug nuts are in place. They're tight. There's no metal showing or no shiny metal. There's no rust streaks indicating a loose lug nut. This is my hub seal. My hub seal is tightly secured. There's no leaks. All right, while we're here, come on over here. First thing we're gonna see is this leaf spring hanger. This leaf spring hanger is properly secured to the vehicle. There's no damage. Nuts and bolts are properly in place. My leaf springs are properly in place. I'm not seeing any scissoring, no broken leaf springs or anything like that. I'm also going to check right here, this right here, my shock absorber. And if you look to the left of that shock absorber, you've got your 2 U-bolts for your leaf springs right in there. U-bolts are properly secured to the vehicle. They are right. Those U-bolts properly secured. There's no missing parts. Lug nuts are in place. There's no breaks or damages. We can go ahead and name our kingpin. If you get further in here, I'm not going to touch it, but straight in between there, that's your kingpin. Your kingpin is properly in place, and your kingpin release is properly engaged and locked in place there. You can see that, and you can see all the grease showing that it's properly greased. All right. While I'm right here, I'll go ahead and name my brake lights. Brake lights properly in place. The brakes, or no damage to the brake lights. You've got electrical connectors here. They're properly in place. No damage, no copper showing, no cuts. This right here, this is my reverse alarm. My reverse alarm is properly in place. No damage, no missing pieces, and it properly works. All right. Now, let's go back on the other side of these tires.
Where?
On the front side of the tires. So we'll get under right here. So I've got my air chamber here. That's my air chamber. Got my air hoses properly secured. No audible leaks. No missing parts. No damages. And if you look straight through there, but you can barely see it. Hey, what's up, man? If you look straight through there, you've got your slack adjusters on the other side of this. You can't really see them, but they're there. They're properly secured in place. This right here is my drive shaft. My drive shaft is best to view in here. Drive shaft is properly secured in place. No damage, no missing parts. Alright. So we're just going to come down. as we're walking down the side of the truck, we're gonna note all of our DOT tape here. All of our DOT tape is in its proper location. It's not missing. We're also gonna check all of our rivets on the side of our trailer here, going up and down. Now here, this is our landing gear. Our landing gear support right here, properly secured to the vehicle, no missing parts. All bolts are properly in place and tightened. This is my release handle. It's properly secured. It's functioning correctly. This is my landing gear right here. Now my sand shoe. This is my sand shoe on my landing gear feet. It's properly secured in place. There's no damage, no missing parts. And I'm just gonna look from here on just to see the support beam going across is properly in place. No damage, no missing parts. Keep walking by, making sure to check all my DOT tape and all my rivets going up and down. And my company logo, not missing anything, is properly in place. Now, right here, I've got a side marker. It's properly secured to the vehicle, to the trailer. There's no damage, no missing pieces. My electrical connectors, there's no copper showing, no abrasions or cuts, and it's properly connected here. Now, under here, first thing you want to check is these are your air lines for your trailer brakes. These air lines have a support right here, a support hanger. The support hanger is properly in place. It's not damaged or missing, and it's operating and functioning correctly just like it should. These airlines, you're going to check these airlines just the same way as you did any of the other airlines. You're checking for leaks, and I'm checking to make sure there's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. There's no damage to them. They're properly in place here, and they're here. There's no leaks. There's no damage, no missing parts. Going back. Here, these rear tires, same as the rear tires on the tractor. You're checking to make sure tread wear depth is at least 2/32 of an inch. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Tires not rubbing. Your rims are spaced evenly. There's no screws, nails, or anything like that in the tread of the tire. And the same thing, you're going to check just that wall of the tire here on the inside of this tire, and the same with this next tire to it. Just make sure there's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. You're going to check the rim, the bead right here, make sure there's no illegal welds, no bends, breaks, cracks, anything like that. And then your lug nuts, properly secured, properly tightened. There's no shiny metal or rust streaks. Valve stem cap and valve stem properly secured and in place. Hubble seal, again, plugged, can't see it, but there's no leaks and it's properly secured. Now, inside here, this right here, that right there, this is a airbag for the trailer. It's properly secured. There's no damage to the airbag. There's no leaks. And the same with your brakes on here as up there. You're gonna check your slack adjuster, your air chamber, your brake shoes, your brake drum, and everything else for the air brake system. It's going to be on the back of this one, back here, and back here. And you're also going to look at your air lines straight through there. Same with these back tires here, because you named them there. You've got to name it here too. Everything that I've already went through. Same thing here with the DOT tape. You got to check it all the way throughout. Now the mud flap, you gotta check, make sure it's properly secured to the vehicle. There's no damage, missing pieces, missing parts. Your support beam all the way across. This right here, you gotta check this. Make sure, and you're you're gonna look just to make sure that your tandem, this is a tandem, make sure that your tandem is all the way in line, make sure it's properly in place. And there's actually a handle up at the front that I forgot to mention, but it's properly in place and secured. No missing parts, no damaged pieces. Right here, you've got your ABS lights. You've got, I'm colorblind. Red and amber. So you're gonna check to make sure your red and amber lights are visible, in place, operating properly, which they are. Can't really check the, you can't really check the electrical cables going to those. They're inside here. So back of the truck, first thing you're gonna look at, brake lights, properly in place, properly secured, not broken, no missing parts. You've got spotlights there and there, properly secured, no damage, no missing parts. Right here, you're gonna check the ignition reflector tank. Here, you're also gonna check your brake lights here. These are turn signals, not brake lights. Turn signals here. Brake lights here. Brake lights properly secured. You got electrical cables coming out of the back of them. You're gonna check to make sure there's no abrasions or cuts are showing copper. I'm gonna check my tag, my trailer, properly secured, and it's properly dated. So this tag is in date. I'm also gonna check my tag light. My tag light is properly in place and secured. There's no damage to it, no missing pieces, and it works properly. I'm gonna check all this here. My brake lights here. Turn signal, same as over there. Coming on this side, I'm gonna check the function of my liftgate. My liftgate is working properly. Got another ABS light here. I'll check that and make sure that's properly in place and secured. No damage. Gonna check all my DOT pins here. And the same with these wheels as the other side. I'm not gonna go back through it, but same.
Yeah.
DOT tape, company logo, properly in place. Here, I've got my battery box, and my hydraulic oil box here. This is from a liftgate. Both are working properly. Both properly secured to the vehicle. There's no electrical cables showing. There's no leaks. These are hydraulic lines here. They're going to go back to that liftgate. They're properly secured. No cuts, no abrasions. There's no leaks. Got my side marker here, just like on the other side. Properly secured, no damage. Same as my landing gear on the other side. On this side, I'm going to just make sure my sand shoe is properly secured, in place, it's not damaged, no missing parts. And we're just going to check my support here and here. Going to come on through. Same as the other side over there. I've got my leaf springs, my leaf spring hanger, U-bolts on the inside. I'm going to check the same as over here as I did over there. Mud flap here. Just going to check that, make sure it's properly secured. No missing parts, no damage to it. Here's a tag for my trailer. It shows the length of my trailer, which is 40 feet. It shows my height, which is 13 feet 6 inches. And it shows my serial number here and the year that it was manufactured and the manufacturing make. Just gonna check this side, my catwalk. Gonna check my frame, making sure there's no illegal welds, no illegal bolt holes, no breaks or bends. Now, here, this is my muffler, my exhaust. Got my muffler tip secured to the muffler. My muffler is properly secured to the vehicle. There's no damage, no missing parts. And my muffler support brackets here properly secured to the frame. No missing parts here. No damage assessed. Everything is properly installed. Next, I'm going to check my gas tank. My gas tank is properly mounted to the vehicle. I'm going to look right up underneath here. These are my fuel lines here and here. This is my electrical cable to my fuel pump. My fuel pump is down inside here. And everything is properly secured, properly mounted. There's no leaks. There's no copper short electrical cable. My gas tank support straps here and here, properly secured to the vehicle. They're functioning properly, supporting my gas tank. And I'm gonna check these gaskets right here. Make sure they're not missing, or there's no dry rot on this rubber. Make sure there's no cuts or bulges or abrasions. Everything is in place, functioning properly. I'm gonna check my gas cap. My gas cap has a seal on the inside. I'm gonna make sure that seal is not damaged or dry rotted or missing. It's properly in place. Also, while I'm here, I'm gonna look down in there and see that there's fuel in the tank, and it is. Make sure this tighten back on there. You're welcome, Troy. Here I'm just gonna check my signal here. It's properly secured. It's not broken. No missing parts. Support handle here. Door handle is functioning properly. My window, this door, is clean. No obstructions, no breaks, no cracks. And my handle here is raising and lowering the window as it should. Same as over there on the other side, my company logo and my DOT number and tractor number are all here, properly in place. No missing letters or anything. Same with my mirror on the other side. I'm going to check to make sure there's no breaks. There's no obstructions to the view, no cracks, and it's properly secured. And the mirror bracket is properly secured to the vehicle. Down here, I'm going to go ahead and name this mud flap. The mud flap is properly secured. It's not broken. No missing parts. Same on this tire as the other one. Just checking my air chamber, my air lines, ABS relay, slack adjuster, my push rod, brake shoes, brake drum, my inner wall of the tire here, bead in the rim, my steering stabilizer right here. I forgot to name it on the other side, but it's properly secured and mounted. I'm also going to look straight through here at that big pipe back there. That is my exhaust pipe. I'm going to make sure that my flex hose back there is not showing any signs of black soot or holes or anything like that indicating an exhaust leak. It's properly secured. There's no damage or missing parts. Still got a name on this side. Slack adjuster bracket, leaf springs, leaf spring hanger here and back there. Still got to name your frame here, here. U-bolts properly secured. The only thing that's going to be different on this side, of course, still got to name your windshield wiper and your windshield on this side as well. But this is your air filter box. You can see your air filter straight down in there. It's properly in place and it's clean. You've also got another hose to name here. It's an air hose there and there. You've got this is your radiator hose that you already named on the other side, but you still need to name it on this side. You're checking to make sure there's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts or leaks. You've got your drive belt. Your drive belt is the right tension. It's not dry rotted or damaged. Your fan, properly secured. There's no broken fins on the fan. Everything is the way it should be. This right here is a coolant hose, and it is coming. You want to check to make sure there's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts here. There's no leaks. Your metal straps here and there, properly secured and tight. You want to make sure there's no leaks here, there, from here. Follow this on back. So right here, there's no leaks here, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts on this little hose. Metal straps properly secured. You want to check the same thing on these. These hoses right here, properly secured. There's no leaks, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. You want to check the same thing going to here. No abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Tightly secured. No leaks. Metal straps are tightly in place. You also want to follow this all the way down to right here. This is your water pump housing right here. It's properly secured. No leaks coming from that. And this is the pulley for the water pump. This is a tensioner pulley. Does exactly what it says. It holds tension on this belt. It's not loose in any way. It's not damaged. No missing parts. This right here, this little bar right here, it's just part of your bumper support. It's tightly secured. No missing parts. No damage. Same on the other side. Just want to hang your bumper here. Make sure it's tightly secured. You want to inspect the overall appearance of your radiator on this side too. Make sure there's no leaks. This right here is something good to know. This big yellow wheel, that's your harmonic balancer. It is tightly secured and in place. And then here, you want to check your headlight housing, here, turn signal housing, electrical cables, and your hood support bracket here. And clearance marker here. Make sure it's tightly secured, it's not broken. No electrical cables shown on the back side. Everything is tightly secured in place. And that's it.